I don't know.
Okay. Right. All right, Jim, here's what I would like to discuss with you, and I will try to take a very small amount of your time.
Okay.
Okay. On Friday, March 13th, you sent out an email and you CC'd Karen Epstein, who I believe is the president of the master board, on this email.
Yeah, sure.
It says, Pavilions homeowners, as you know, on Monday, March 17th at 7 p.m., the annual meeting of the Pavilions members is scheduled. The annual members meeting are required by law, and this meeting will occur as scheduled next week. GRCA management encouraged Pavilions homeowners to vote by absentee ballot to ensure there is a quorum. If you need another absentee ballot, please email Monica at mgoodwin@yaneyranchca.com. Okay. Then the next thing is that...
Yeah, I'm aware of that.
Okay, I know. And then it's the Pavilions members' annual meeting is Tuesday, not Monday, March 17th at 7 p.m.
Oh, okay.
Then on Monday, March 16th, you sent out an email, and it went to Monica, it went to Karen Epstein, Eugene Coolius, Doug Ferris, Erlene Nelson, right?
Mm-hmm.
Are those the only people in the master board, or is there somebody else?
There's somebody else on the board.
Okay, is that Vegas?
Vargas. Yeah.
Okay, at Nationwide. And you also CC'd Beth Mulcahy at bmulcahy@mulcahylawfirm.com.
Okay.
And it says, the Pavilions Board has decided to cancel the current scheduled annual members meeting that was scheduled for Wednesday, March 17th at 7 p.m. The meeting will be rescheduled once the virus passes and recommended restrictions are lifted. Okay. That went to the board, that you were going to reschedule the meeting.
That's true.
Okay, then on March the 26th, on Monday, March 16th, Jim Funk phoned to say that because of the quarantine restrictions, we were not to meet with more than 10 individuals. So he recommended that we cancel our annual meeting on the 17th, but he would encourage receiving the absentee ballots, which would suffice, so I agreed. Okay, and that's from D. Bloom.
Oh,
Okay.
well, I don't know about that either.
Okay,
Okay.
well,
Yeah.
I'm just showing you that everybody was on board, that the meeting would have to be rescheduled, that the election had taken place, all the absentee ballots were supposed to be in by the 16th.
No, I don't agree with that,
well,
but okay, go ahead.
Fine.
Keep going.
Okay.
Yeah.
Then you have from Beth Mulcahy, she's answered your question, and she is citing ARS, which is a statute, 33-1250. And it says, it's section C3, provides that the ballot is valid for only one specified election or meeting of the members and expires automatically after the completion of the election or meeting. Okay, so we had the election, so that ballot expired, which means that the election took place and then you postponed the meeting, as your email of March 16th shows. Okay, because of COVID-19, we could not anticipate that, so it was delayed. But because that ballot was only valid for the March election, okay, that meant that I could not be added to the June election without my express written permission, which was not given. Okay. Then I have this email that says that we had a quorum and that there were enough ballots received, 50 households voted, and here are the number of votes.
Who wrote this email?
D. Bloom.
Yeah.
Okay, who is the current acting president of the Pavilions,
yeah.
okay? And she looked at the ballots and counted them. She came in and looked at them. Yeah, that's right, she asked for them. So
Yeah.
she knew that a quorum had been met, and the results were that the 5 people who ran all had enough votes to be on the board. Okay. Then, she wrote to you, Jim, I understand we could not have the meeting, but ballots went out. You told me that 50 absentee ballots came in. Per Herb Kahn, the owners voted and chose who they wanted, okay? Now, the Federal Court of Appeals has just ruled, okay, that what happened here, okay, that the election was valid, that you could postpone.
This is not in the Court of Appeals, but okay.
It is, it's the Federal Court of Appeals, and I'll just give you the case law. It's Ishaki v. Whitmere, Terrence G. Berg, Eastern District of Michigan, Federal Court of Appeals.
Michigan.
Well, it's Federal Court of Appeals. It's federal. It's across the country.
It's still Arizona law.
No,
Yeah,
it's
but government
this is
okay. Keep
this
going.
governs you. Okay,
No,
this
I don't
governs
know if it
everybody.
does.
Well, it does. You can check with
I don't
Beth
know about that.
Mulcahy.
Okay.
Well, I think that you should take this citing down so she can revisit this.
I'll be glad to do that.
Okay, I think you should. Okay, the ruling states that while campaign and election events can be rescheduled to different dates. Judicial and executive administrators cannot change the criteria of ongoing or concluded campaign or election events through remedy, which means you can't arbitrarily decide to have a whole new election and add 2 more people to that ballot. That ballot stands. The original ballot of March stands. You could only delay the meeting, which you have done because you've called for a meeting for June 9th. But you should go back to the March ballot because that's the one that won. Okay. So there we go with that. Then Beth Mulcahy cites ARS 33-1250, and in Section 1 and Section 3, it said the ballot is valid for only one specified election or meeting, which means I could not be added to that second ballot that you sent out. Because I sent an email saying, hey, we had the election in March and
But
I
you
won.
didn't- But you didn't say to not put you on the ballot.
You can't put me on the ballot because I did not send you any information saying to put me on the
What
ballot.
it said was that if you didn't contact us, because
It didn't say that.
yes, it did.
No.
She contacted every one of the people that were on the ballot and said, if you didn't hear back from you, you'd be on the ballot. So anyway, go ahead.
No, it doesn't say that because I have it right here. I'll
I
read
have
it
it
to you.
right here,
Yeah, I'll
too.
read it to you. Good morning, Jan. We will be rescheduling the pavilion's annual meeting. I hope that you are still interested in running for the board. If not, please advise immediately. And I
Okay.
wrote back, happy to learn that you have rescheduled the meeting to announce the new board members. I campaigned and was elected to the pavilion's board, receiving the largest number of votes of the 5 candidates that ran for board positions. Please contact Gainey Ranch General Manager and Secretary Jim Funk to obtain the results of that election. As a quorum was met, the candidates were notified of the number of votes each received. Okay? That's my response to that. Okay? So,
Go ahead.
I did not agree to be on the June election. I
You
signed up.
also didn't say not to be on it. So,
I don't
okay,
have
go
to
ahead.
say not to be on it. You can't add me to an election without my express consent, and you didn't have it.
Keep going.
As a matter of fact, as soon as I went to the mailbox on the 21st and saw that a new election, I had no idea that you were going to have a whole new election and send out my name on a ballot. When I went to the mailbox and discovered that, I came over here immediately and made an appointment with you and said,
I know
Jim,
that.
I did not agree
Okay.
to run in the June election. I ran in the pavilion's board meeting membership in March. I ran in the March election. I don't need to run in the June election. So, I also want you to know that after checking with that, it's illegal for you to add somebody's name to an election and put it in the mail and send it out. It constitutes election tampering and mail fraud. Right here.
Okay, fine.
There you go. So now that I know and I have the information that you did include all the master board members in your correspondence, saying that you were going to
Keeping them informed, sure.
keeping them informed and that you had canceled the meeting, but that you would reschedule it as soon as the coronavirus passed, okay? And they were
Which
notified
it
of that.
hasn't, but okay.
Well, you've already said you're gonna have a virtual meeting regarding on June 9th, okay? You're right,
It has not passed, that's true.
correct, okay?
And instead, I worked on a way for all of the 6 different communities that the meetings had to be canceled, to be able to fulfill their requirements per Arizona statutes, which is to have a meeting. That's what I've worked on.
And, okay, but you not only just have a meeting, you've arbitrarily decided to have new elections. You
I
put
did
out
not
new ballots.
arbitrarily decide. I discussed with the president as well as with our attorney, who you saw in the thing that I put out there, who advised that the best approach for this was that those ballots were invalid and that a new election should come out for the board. And
and
that's
okay.
not me deciding, that's me talking to our attorney, me talking to the current board, okay, of what the attorney was saying and making a decision so that we can have a valid board meeting and a valid election and put the new whoever is elected on the new board, because we've got two people wanting to leave the board, that's what that was about.
And I'm here to let you know that this exact situation, including the coronavirus situation, has been ruled on by the Federal Court of Appeals, okay? And you are only allowed to delay, all right, which would be delay of the meeting, all right? But you cannot decide to remedy by having a whole new ballot. You cannot do that. That's illegal, and they've ruled on it. And you can.
I'll ask Beth about that.
Yes, you can check with Beth.
Yeah, I'll ask
Okay,
Beth about
I
that.
think it would be wise to talk with her right away. And I hope that you will, because,
Oh, I will.
Okay,
I
because-
do regularly.
good, because on Thursday, I plan to take some sort of action. So I hope that you'll be able to speak with her tomorrow and get back to me about where you stand on these issues.
I will speak to her about that particular point that you make,
And-
that the feds has supposedly in Michigan ruled, and I will see what she has to say, because I've been following her advice all along as to how to best address this very unique situation in the state of Arizona.
Well, it's not that unique, because a lot of other communities in the area are experiencing the exact same thing, and they kept their original ballots, and all they did was postpone their meeting, because that was the part that was difficult. We couldn't have a group meeting, but everybody could fax in their ballot, they could mail it in,
Which
they could
also
drop it off.
meant, as I mentioned to you before,
Yeah.
that people that would normally come to those meetings and vote, which a lot of people do, okay, weren't able to do that.
They
So-
can come to the June 9th meeting and bring their ballot if they so desire, but you cannot remedy by having a whole new ballot and adding people to it. You must stick with the original ballot. And here it is, Ashaki v. Whitmer.
Shockey B. Whitner.
Would you
I
like to
will-
write it down?
I will talk to, I can remember that. I will talk to Beth about that.
And also-
Again, everything that I've done, I've discussed with Beth, I've discussed with the president of the board and the board, and everything that I've done is to help facilitate so that we can do what legally is required in the state of Arizona. The things that we have done have been based upon their recommendations, okay? The other attorneys have ruled that since a date was not established for the new meeting, so, and we had no idea as we're walking into coronavirus when, okay? Because a date was not established.
That's correct. That's why when you said
Well,
that
there
you
was
would be
no date
rescheduling it,
established.
we waited. Patiently, we waited. You said,
No,
the
well,
meeting will be rescheduled once the virus passes and recommended restrictions are lifted. So we've been patiently waiting for you to do that. So when I got the email from Monica, I was pleased to know that you'd rescheduled it.
well, anyway.
But I didn't know you were
will-
coming up with a whole new
the
ballot.
only new information that we're talking about here, Jan, is your research as to that federal decision in Michigan, federal court decision in Michigan.
Right, it's the Court of Appeals, okay,
Yeah.
which
in
is,
Michigan.
she'll see that that's nationwide, that will be case law. She was not quoting any kind of case law when she was talking with you about her recommendations about this and that,
No,
but this is case law.
I will mention it to her.
And also, you might want to run it by her, the part about adding my name to a ballot without my express
I've already done
authorization, okay?
I've already done that.
And what's her opinion on that?
Their opinion on that is that you have a right at the time of the election to not serve the community, and that the next person with the most number of.
So you're saying that my name can go out on that ballot and then I
Yeah.
can choose,
Yeah, you were already on the ballot, so.
but I should not have been on the ballot. I did not give you permission to put me on
You
the ballot.
also, we contacted you, you could
And
have
I-
said, I don't wanna be on that ballot. What you
I
said
said I already won.
You,
Right,
you,
I-
wanted to argue as you continue to argue, okay?
that's right.
That,
I will
that-
continue
that
to
it
argue.
was, that you continue to argue, that the quorum was met, so
That's
that, so
correct.
the election was over.
That's correct.
I continue to go on the advice of the attorney that the meeting didn't happen, so people didn't have the chance to come to the meeting. They didn't have a chance to then vote, and that can affect the outcome of that election. So
Yes,
to
but
just
we're
go with
perfectly
the-
willing to let them come to the March 9th and bring any of their ballots
Like
with
you say,
them.
I will discuss it
And
with
you need
Beth.
to go back to the original ballot with the 5 original
I know
people
that's what
on
you're
it.
telling me.
I am telling you. Well, Court of Appeals is telling you that.
I
You
don't
cannot
know
just
that.
make up a remedy.
I don't know.
Okay, well,
Okay, I appreciate it. And I will take that past Beth for Beth's review.
and I need to know by Thursday or I will take action,
That's fine.
all right?
Yeah.
Which probably won't be good for all of us.
Right, well, that's up to you.
I know it's up to me.